Todd here, and welcome to another Acme Machining. Today what we're going to do is we're going to do a little modification to our horizontal bandsaw. A lot of people have these saws, and the problem they come to is when we're cutting off something short that doesn't extend all the way across. Like here's your pivot point here. How many people have done this? You're either using blocks of wood or pieces of steel or scrap or whatever, because if I don't put something in there and I tighten up, it just does this, okay? Because that bolt doesn't hold good enough, and we get sawing through that and that piece comes loose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys a little mod that you can do to these. It's simple to do. It's not in the way. It's always there for you, and makes a big improvement with just a little bit of work. So stick around. We'll have some fun today. Just to clarify on this, I took those blocks out of the other side, and that's tight. Or is it? Right? That there is just going to work its way out and ruin your day. Okay, so we're going to fix this problem. Okay, now this here part is optional depending on what the backing or the moving jaw looks like on your saw vise, but I'm just going to show you how I do this, and then we'll get into the showing you why I did it here in the next little bit. Now I've just chucked this up, and you can see I don't have a whole lot holding it, okay? And you probably noticed before when you guys put something in your vise and you give it a spin, it's way out in another world. So what I do is I use the back side of the tool holder. I don't have my vise real tight. I'll wind this in slowly, and of course it's touching intermittently, but you can see what it did. Straighten that right out for me. So now I'll tighten the vise up. We'll recheck. We got something we can work with. Hand feeding this. I'll grab this piece of this moving jaw And this is why I'm doing that. I can't get in there, but I want to be able to clear this web so that I don't need to leave the hole way out here. I can put it so I got a little more meat to hold things, eh? But I've rounded that off, and I've probably got over 1/8 of an inch, probably closer to 3/16 taken off the top of these hexagon points, and that's just going to move the hole so I'm 1/8 of an inch in away from the edge, so it's going to give me a better purchase point. So I'm just going to measure this up with a rule and make sure that I have it decent. You've seen me try to fit it in there by hand and I couldn't. And that's going to be enough for me. I might take a little bit off of the back of this web, and but I want to leave some purchase on the I need room for a wrench on this. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean up this edge. A bit of a chamfer there. Excuse my hands. See, this is going to allow that to sit like that, so I can get in a little bit closer. Like I said, I'll take just a little bit off of this because I want some room for the wrench to grab this. It's not like I got to tighten it up too bad. You're just snugging it up so it doesn't move. I'll flatten out this surface so I got a good surface, and I'll take just a little bit off of that so that the corners of that nut clears. But you can see in there, I hope you can see, just a minute, a little light in the back there. Yeah, you can see how much I've been able to, I'm going to be able to move that over from having it the corner to having it in there. So that just allows me to have more strength out here. Okay, over to the milling machine we go. Okay, I'm just lining this up by eye. There's no real blueprint for this. There's no blueprint at all, not even a crayon aided design. All I'm doing is I'm just setting that right about where I want it, and it's going to give me a good section. If I throw this in neutral, use the hand, trying to stay out of your guys' way. Can sometimes be a tough go. Okay. So I've got an 1 1/16 cutter, which is going to give me a nice landing for this here, because it just happens to work out that I've got an 1 1/16 that I turned that down to when I took the corners off of the hexagon. So I am just going to start this up and come down with the cutter, give myself a nice flat spot to work. see the way that it's clearing the paint off that definitely was not a flat surface. Zero out my X and my Y because I want to be able to find that spot again. But all I've done is given myself a nice clean area. You guys can't see that very good, so I'm going to go handheld here. So that gives me a nice clean area. Excuse the hand. But that there sets down in. Now, I'll put you back in the tripod. Oh, you guys are probably getting seasick me trying to get this in the tripod. Now you can see I got to take some off of that top of this riser block. Just need to take a little bit off of the end of this. That's all I'm going to do is I'm just going to come across the end of it. Give myself a nice straight line. It'll look better than a circle that doesn't line up to anything. Here's a little trick for you guys. I'll make sure it's in focus. Sharpies. We all keep them. I keep mine in a cup. But if I store it like this in the cup, the ink runs away from the felt and it's no good. So I'm always storing it down in the cup. And I've got silver ones, I've got red ones, blue ones. I take and I draw the color on the end of the Sharpie. So when I'm looking in my cup, I don't need to take them out. I know this one's a black Sharpie. So I'm going to get set up for this next little cut and we'll be right back. Okay, I just went and the camera shut off on me, of course. Tried filming this for you folks, but the camera shut off. What I've done is I've took two 40 thou cuts just off the corner of this, and it lets the corner of my hexagon clear that nice. Okay, I'll probably just clean up any sharpness there so I don't cut my delicate skin. And yeah, so I've got the mill zeroed out for where I want to drill my hole. I've got to drill, I'm doing this in 3/4 inch fine thread, which is 16 threads per inch, and I need an 11/16 drill bit. So I'm going to start with something smaller and work my way up, but I'll get the mill changed over to drilling and get it zeroed up, and we'll be ready to bring you back. Okay, we're just going to start drilling a hole, just about a 3/16. I didn't look too closely at it because, you know what, it doesn't matter. Basically, this is just a starter hole. Got the DRO zeroed out, so it's right dead center with where I was doing the clearing off the paint and finding a good surface. So I've got that taken care of. My God, I love working with cast iron. Just don't breathe the dust. I'm going to slow this down. Not that slow. Of course, yep, got my hand in the way, right? Nope. Try to get this, there we go, in focus. I like using Viking drills and taps. Their taps, dies, and drills, I get really good life out of them. I don't know if they're available, well, made in the USA, so they should be available. But I got onto these a few years back, and doing some small hole tapping and stuff like that, putting sights on rifles, and I didn't want to be breaking a tap off into somebody's rifle or gun, so I went looking for good ones, and I got hooked on these Viking ones, and I swear by them. There's absolutely no sponsorship from them for me, but maybe that day will come. I haven't asked. Who knows? Sometimes you get lucky. So there's my 11/16. Good, I've got clearance for a tap handle here. I'm not going to be hitting it, so I'll be right back. I'll find my tap handle. Okay, got the tap handle. Line that up there. Get it down in the hole. Take some tension on there. And let the tool do the work. Big difference since I improved the quill lock on this machine. You might want to check out that video. Excuse my hands, I'm trying to stay out of your way, but trying to get a job done at the same time. So I think this is going to be a big improvement. Make things a lot quicker when I'm using the bandsaw. Okay, I'm just going to move the tap handle up a little bit. I'm basically done. Almost done, and then I hit again. So we'll get there. Yeah, we're done. I can turn this by hand now, so. Like I said, love working cast iron. Don't do enough cast iron stuff these days. That's going to be big, just big enough. I'm just going to do it by hand. Okay, now I've got a bunch of these. I use them in my, well, there's one there right. Hopefully it's staying in focus for you folks. Yeah. I make these little machinist jacks like that. So I've got lots of these around, different lengths. Okay, let's get you back over to the bandsaw. Okay, we'll get this hooked up now. Now this is adjustable, so you can cut your angles. You just set it parallel with that one. Seen this done years ago on another guy's saw, and first I cursed it, and then I learned to love it. I've had this saw for a couple of years now. Now, the easiest thing is, I'm going to move you just a little bit here, keep you in the picture, is I want to cut this block. I got to leave it hanging out here, and I'm out past the center point of my vise. So when I tighten up my vise, the vise wants to do this. This here will stop it some, but not enough, okay? Loosen that off. You can see how much that turns trying to tighten up. And then it just grabs this back edge because just gonna grab a business card here. I can take and I can slide this business card in. Look how far I was able to slide that business card in. So all this area isn't holding squat, for lack of another word. Bring this back around here. The easiest way to set this up is you take the piece you're going to cut, set it in line with the center pivot. Now the jaw is square with the work. Now I can bring this in. I can tighten that. I can back my work out. I can bring that out to wherever I want now. And much better. That's not moving. Now I can do the cut. I'm not going to cut that off because right now that's a piece of 3-inch steel and I don't need a piece of 3-inch steel cut, and if I cut 1/4 of an inch of that off, it'll be 1/8 of an inch too short for the next time I need a piece. So, but there you go, folks. That's just a handy way of making it safe again. I'm just going to go handheld here. Okay. So now I don't need to be trying to find something that's the same size as the work. I can just adjust my screw and it'll stay in. It'll actually live in here. I'm going to make a couple longer screws, just depending on how long a piece of stock I've got to work with, how big a piece of stock I've got to work with. But yeah, the easy thing is, okay, so when I don't need it, it just stays there. It's not in the way of anything. I've just got it back from flush. Keep that nut so it doesn't walk out on its own. And like even if I had, this is just started stock, so it wouldn't matter how long one I want to put on here. I could put one if I wanted to. I could easily make it that long and leave it here. It wouldn't bother me. It's not in the way. It doesn't hit the tightening handle or nothing, so it's cut off a piece of this and put it in there so I can get that piece back in my jack. So this is what I make my jacks out of. So Anyway, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this. Please hit the like and subscribe. And it's the end of December, so Happy New Year to you all. Bye now.